All right. Look, you guys ever start a project thinking it's gonna be a giant cakewalk and everything was gonna be easy, only to figure out that you were completely wrong, and now you got a bunch of work ahead of you in order to make all the shiny new parts that you've invested a whole lot in simply fit or work together without blowing everything else up? Well, that's pretty much where we're at with Ol'Waylon here. You see, I figured that when we were gonna swap the old Ford Godzilla motor out and put in this shiny new BDS blown dart blocked LS, that it would be, well, relatively straightforward. After all, it's a Chevy motor going in a Chevy. Turns out that's not the case. So, let's get you guys up to speed on what's been happening with Ol'Waylon, and let's get back to work. So when we last checked in with this build, my buddy Grim had come by with his 3D scanner to make some engine mounts. He whipped those up and I stabbed the engine in and everything seemed like it was gonna be smooth sailing from there. Boy, was I mistaken. So when my longtime buddy and now new neighbor Sean decided to swing by to shoot the shit, he happened to notice that the angle of the motor would basically place the Supercharger neck deep into the windshield. So with that, it meant we needed to make some adjustments. We don't have a whole lot of room to raise the transmission up because it basically hits the bottom of the floor there. I've already taken one seat out. I think you know where I'm going here. Basically, we're gonna pull the carpet out, pull that seat out. We're gonna cut the floor out. You know, it's funny because I started with this truck and used this truck for the project because I thought it'd be fun. You know, it was like already there. What's the worst that could happen? This. This. Anyway. Let's go for it. We're really gonna have to work on my cuts. Ta-da! Diggity damn. Oh, that's toasty. Okay, so what do you think we do with this? We just like, we just plate it and then tack weld it and then just seam seal it or what?
Yeah, you can either weld the whole outside edge of the flange or you could just spot weld it because all these, if you look at the factory itself, all of these panels are just spot welded and then they have seam sealer around it.
Ah, okay.
So if they did it in the 90s, you can do it in the 2020s.
Yeah, why not?
Depending on where this piece has to be cut out and the sheet metal for the rest of the transfer case, if it touches here, you might as well just cut it straight back. You just cut that whole thing in and we'll just make a tunnel front to back.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Hot diggity damn. Ow! God damn, it's hot. Let's go see if we can jack it up. And where it lands. Look at that. So after hacking up my floor like Michael J. Fox on a sick one with a Sawzall, it was on to step 2, which meant convincing Sean to come in on a weekend and build a new floor for me. Because I can't weld. Here's the end result. Now, we probably still got to cut a little bit more out just to make doubly sure that we got clearance here, but you know what? We've got this thing up and at a decent angle to where we can fit the old Supercharger here. Still had to cut a little bit of the rain tray out too, but not too bad. Luckily, my very good friend Sean is coming here today and he's gonna teach us how to make a floor real quick. And I hear him coming up right now. Hi, Sean.
Hello, sir.
Love that entry.
Oh, thank you.
You look proper, man. You got the overalls on? All right. Appreciate you, man. Coming out on a
problem.
Sunday. So, you want to push this thing over to your shop over there, and you want to do it in here?
It'd be a lot easier at my shop.
Oh, we can just get to pushing. No big deal.
Let's do it.
All right, Sean. By the way, a lot of Chevy horsepower in here. I love that.
There's It's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got to do first? What's the steps of this? Make a template?
Yeah, first thing is make a cardboard paper template of what you need from firewall to end of trans tunnel.
Okay.
And then anything off of the side of that, we'll just make from scratch and just kind of weld it up, tack it up, finish weld it, grind it, all that stuff. So it looks uniform and done. And then you can do the seam sealer and that's original.
Easy money, baby. Let's go.
Your whole width of your trans cover that we're doing is 36 long by 9 wide, but it's 3 tall.
Yeah.
So you got to go 36 by 12, so that way it has the circumference.
Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do a roundy boy.
Yeah. And after that, it's pretty much just make the angles, and you got to cover in about 20 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, bro. You cut this like.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was using a damn cutoff wheel, man. I didn't have like an actual saw.
We have that shape now. We're not messing with that. This piece obviously is flat, tombstone.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna bend that over, follow this angle,
Yep.
and then make sure it's long enough over here. As you can see, with me touching it here, about a 1/2 inch there, 1/4 inch here, and then we're gonna push that up right there in the center. And then we're gonna just kind of exaggerate that one, and then we're gonna mark here and mark here. As you can tell, we got more than enough here. So if we have to continue trimming a 1/4 inch at a time, we have more than enough, but you want to keep it over at least a 1/2 inch.
My man.
Since you have that roll,
Yep.
that'll just be a hammer beating it submission. Now this line, ironically, is off, but when we hit this down, it's going to stretch the metal this way. So if it's within a 1/4 inch, you can make metal stick to metal. It doesn't matter.
Love that.
If you're over a 1/2 inch, you're going to be gap filling, kind of like what you did up there with the cutoff wheel and
Oh, you mean
everything
right there,
else.
buddy?
So, yeah, so this uniform shape is within a 1/4 inch of a full radius on your firewall from the factory, but you went hog wild on that side just to make a little bit more room. So we're just gonna make a little piece and just weld it on there. It'll be fine. If you're within a 1/4 inch, just run it. You don't have to be precise and perfect and all that stuff. You're gonna weld it, you're gonna grind it, you're gonna seam seal it. Nobody's gonna see it.
It's gonna be covered anyway.
Just make it your own, you know?
Yeah, okay.
So
Happy little trees.
It doesn't matter.
You're like the
So-
Bob Ross of metal over here.
So you're gonna have the floorboard, you're gonna have the tunnel, you're gonna have the dashboard, you're gonna have all this, but there's gonna be trees and happy places and waterfalls. It's gonna be fun. Stay with it, you'll see. This piece we're just gonna make to this shape and then pretty much weld, grind,
Do the damn
seam
thing.
seal, and done.
Yeah,
So
easy day.
let's do it.
Love your drafting table here. This is
The more horsepower it takes to make a panel, the more better it is to be like precise.
yeah. Nice. So you just kind of form it over your thigh and shin there like that?
Yeah, pretty much. You kind of have to make do with what you got, and right now is a size 12/giant thigh.
Thick
Hopefully-
thighs save lives and
much.
bend up sheet metal real good. Look how smooth that, man, look at that wobbly sobby. Now it's a little off, but you know what? We can beat it into place, no big deal.
Oh yeah. Fold it out a little bit, and then we got thigh-high trans tunnel, and we're good.
Oh yeah.
It's like a little hammerhead shark. Look at that. Rawr.
Oh yeah, bud. Looking clean. All right.
Hey, cleanish.
Well, you
So
know,
I'll clean it up.
well,
but-
we're gonna clean it up. But yeah, man, look at that. Dang, brother.
Yeah. So that should be just as strong as any factory welds, because all the original welds are usually 1.5 inches apart, and those are within 1/4 inch. So, I mean, metal and metal 1/4 inch apart is pretty much as strong as you can get for butt welding stuff together. But you're gonna seam seal it and make it all pretty. So that should handle it.
Yeah, we're gonna cover this whole damn thing in alloy armor, get it sealed up. It'll look good. Hell yeah. So after a few hours and about 12 crispy boys, Sean had the floor all buttoned up and it was time to seam seal and paint this damn thing.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
We're gonna need 8 more ladies.
So really, you think, oh! So my lovely neighbors, the Backspeed boys, they asked if I could give them a hand in removing some body work on a BMW that they're building right now. Naturally, I'm a good neighbor. So, we're gonna give them a hand. Boys like Mexico! Worked perfect. Aw, damn it. I thought I was gonna pull all of it. I got you guys.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, now that the Tahoe is back here, we can start pulling this thing apart, get the motor and trans out, and we can finish the underside. Let's go. All right, so first order of business here, we got to seam seal this bad boy. Got it up on the lift. We got ourselves some seam sealer. Booyah. Well, it ain't super pretty. Whatever, we're gonna cover it all up and get it all nice and sealed. So there's not a bunch of smoke and all that crap going into the cab. We're gonna seal it from the bottom, we're gonna seal it from the top. Let's get it. So that brings us to where we are today. We got the new floor in, we got it seam sealed, we got it painted with alloy armor, so we know it's not gonna rust. Also, our good friend Glenn came by and helped make a mount for the oil pump. This is a quick prototype. We gotta make a few adjustments, but it's got the basic bones for what we're gonna need. This is gonna keep the pump right where we need it to be so we can drive it off the front of the blower pulley. This is good. This was holding us back from getting anywhere with this damn thing because nobody seems to make a mount for this pump that we've got. So that's good. At least we got that locked in. Still got a lot of work to do on this thing. And the goal of this episode is to at least have that engine sitting in the frame rails and mocked up and making sure that we don't have any more big fab work to do so we can actually start putting this thing together, running lines, running electrical, and eventually, you know, get it running. Let's take a look at our list to see what we need to do. For one, we gotta get that firewall looking good because it looks like absolute garbage right now. So we gotta grind the factory firewall so we can get all the little nubs and dumb stuff off so we can make a plate and make this nice and flat and smooth. So that'll look good. Next, we've got to cut the rain tray because we had to cut so much of this rain tray out just to make that blower fit. Obviously, if you look at it right now, it's a little lopsided. So we've already made some marks and started cutting, but we broke our blade. We're gonna finish that off, get that nice and clean. Then we're gonna mock up a template for that firewall cover. We're gonna reinstall the engine and trans. We're gonna check the drive shaft clearance because there's something underneath that we wanna make sure it doesn't hit. Then we're gonna check the pump and mount clearance on this guy to make sure that, you know, everything's all good with the oil pump and the mounting scenario, that we make sure we can run our lines and not get any interference. Then we're gonna measure for supercharger belt length. Then we gotta drill that Holley high ram manifold for the burst plate and get that mounted in so we can have somebody weld it up, and then we're moving. So let's get to it.
What up?
Well, what's happening? We got young Xander in the house. Let's go. Just in time. Let's put your ass to work. Now we've got to make a little template because we're going to smooth this out. So basically we just like make it out of like cardboard, and then we'll cut it out of steel or aluminum or whatever we can find. And then we'll paint that, tack it in, you know, make it look a little smoother. You probably hear all the noise outside. We got the homies from Ice Blast Works. When I was building this at Hoonigan, they actually came through and blasted this whole chassis and like cleaned it up immaculately. I don't even know if that's a word, but here, check it out. Stuff's dope. It's extremely loud though. Anyway, let's get to work. Now, I definitely didn't think when I originally hammered this in to fit that Godzilla, I'd be hammering it back out for any reason whatsoever. But here we are. All right, now comes for all the super high-tech stuff. See if we can hodgepodge a little template out of this guy. Cut some of this up, work our way down. That looks straight, right?
Not at all.
Perfect.
You considered tape.
No, I did not consider tape. That's actually a pretty good idea. How did I f that up already? This is not perfectly straight. There's not a straight line on this vehicle. Generalized, you know. First of all, I'm new at this, okay? Right. We've got our basic template, but I'm sure somebody actually makes this, so I'm actually gonna look it up online and see. And if we can just find one, I'm just gonna buy it because I feel like it's gonna be better than what I'm gonna make. All right, so we're gonna skip forward now. We're gonna throw the trans in this thing, get the engine mounted, see how it looks. Time to get this behemoth in. Our tried and true Gearstar Pro 4L85E level 69. Oh yeah. If you've watched any of my builds, you know this is basically the transmission I run and everything because, well, it works and it can take a beating. And at the end of the day, that's what we gotta do with it. I know these things can take quite a bit of abuse. You gotta stand in here and hold this up by the bell housing. Hold that trans. I'm gonna push this thing forward. So push up on the trans a little bit. Stability is at an all-time low right now. Oh, don't. Because this thing has to like twist in, which I absolutely hate. Oh, you dick. Ah, there we go. Ah, see? Get it. Bam, lickety split, transmissions in, took maybe 16 seconds. By 16 seconds, I mean definitely 30 minutes because we were struggling with some stuff, but don't worry about it, it's in. Well, let's move on, let's get that engine in, baby. It feels good. You feel that horsepower coming? We're getting there, baby. Only like 30 minutes away from starting this thing. And like Scotto's 30 minutes away, which means like 9 years, but you know, we're gonna get it done.
He got this, got that, and that seat, and was like, all right, I got 7 days and we're gonna make this into a this.
Success.
We've got the engine in, and this is all good stuff. So now we're gonna put the transmission at the proper angle, and then we're gonna check the clearance of the drive shaft, which I know it's gonna clear because I cut the thing out. You can see this haphazardly tunnel I made. But you know what, it looks really nice because of that alloy armor we sprayed on there. Love how this flat black stuff lays because it just makes anything, well, it hides a lot of the mistakes and the sins of somebody like myself that isn't really, you know, super skilled in, well, anything. Oh, this is a nice feeling. This thing has not had a drive shaft in it for about a year now. Big beefy boy from our homies at Drive Shaft Pro. Lord Jesus. We're gonna get it in.
2 hours later.
So we've got the entire driveline in for the first time in like a year. This feels really good. Drive shaft's in, it's gonna clear. We're not gonna have any problems there, so that's good. And yeah, motor trans is all in, it's Gucci. We're gonna drop this thing down and we're gonna put the blower on, just kind of bolt everything up just to make sure everything clears because God forbid, we're off a little bit. As you can see, we've got everything kind of mocked in. Obviously, you know, it's gonna come out again, but we know that it fits. We know the drive line's good. We know it clears the new trans tunnel, and look at this, we got just enough room. I had to cut this rain tray back even more, but it just clears. I mean, this is awesome. I was really worried about that not fitting, because, you know, nobody likes cutting a windshield. Now, I just can't help myself. I gotta see what the headers look like on this thing because I got a set, and you know what? We gotta make sure that those fit too, because if they don't, well, then we're kind of in a pickle, but not really. I'll explain why in a second. Found somebody that made headers for a four-wheel drive GMT 400 truck. And obviously, we've got a mount that is definitely not in the stock location. So will this side fit? Now this is gonna be the tight one because the drive shaft on this side. So, oh, well, that's not good. Let's see, will this work? Did I just grab the wrong damn header bolt? Not too bad, but you can see back here, we got a gap. It's hitting the frame rail there. So we're just gonna bash that in a little bit. So that side, got to massage a little bit. No big deal, we got hammers for that. It does look like it's gonna clear the drive shaft, which is good. As long as that's out of the way, we don't have to make headers, which is obviously gonna cost money because I ain't the guy to do it. Oh, that's a good feeling, okay. So this side's Gucci. That side, gotta bash a tube in with a hammer because I'm not gonna make some new ones. This is good. Now, for the rest of the exhaust, we actually just unboxed all of this fresh stainless bros Tycon and Alucon piping here. For this, we're probably gonna run 3.5 inch. And then as for mufflers, we got a couple different options here. So pop one of these open. These things are bad. Check this out. So we might have gone a little overkill on ordering materials, but you know, figured we're gonna probably build a lot of exhaust here. Got a couple builds coming up that you guys will know about very soon. Everything's gonna need an exhaust, everything's gonna need all sorts of shit. So this isn't exactly a muffler, this is a resonator, but I'm gonna have basically all this stuff on V-bands, and for the street, since it is a street car, let's run one of these bad boys. Oh yeah! Look at that TIG weld on everything, bro. Like, this is good. I'm stoked. So yeah, you know, we'll have it somewhat quiet-ish, tolerable for the neighbors. I'll probably get kicked out of my building, but who cares? I've got some oval resonators. I've got the round resonators. Got a couple mufflers too. We got to definitely build a new exhaust for the K5. That's all going 3.5 inch. We got all the goodies. I mean, all the bends. We got cool stuff like reducers, and then they like pre-sell like 45-degree cuts, and they even pre-sell pie cuts and stuff too. So makes it easy, you know? You don't want to spend a bunch of time cutting up tubing and hacking away at big U-bends and stuff like that. So it should be fun. This thing's gonna be absolutely choice. Might as well double check our clearance here, make sure we are good. And it looks like we're good. Looks like we got enough clearance. That mount and these lower scavenge ports was definitely a concern. So final important piece, I'm pretty sure this is gonna fit because I've done a little bit of mock-up, but not with the engine exactly where it's at. I feel like we're gonna have an issue here. This little setup is by a guy named Troy. Goes by Warspeed Industries on Instagram. The oil pan and this alternator bracket from him. Australians, they do a lot of these blower cars. So basically this is like a kit you buy off the shelf, and it fit perfectly exactly for this setup. There's actually 2 different length bolt setups and spacer setups. So in case you wanted to run the alternator belt further out, this thing lines up absolutely perfect. Let's go. That's what I like to see. Now the last like big piece we need for this, we got a couple more things coming, but like need to get the injector hat, because with this stack and the hat, I mean, we should be about equal with the roof line, give or take. But that's gonna complete the look of this. Now, I think there's only one thing left on our list. We've pretty much crossed everything else out except for actually making the metal piece that's gonna go there. We've gotta measure the center to center distance on the pulleys so we can get a belt for this thing. So let's do that now. These are not the pulleys that I'm going to run. We're gonna turn this blower at 30% overdrive. So I might still run this lower pulley. I think this is a 51 tooth, something like that. There's gonna be a much smaller pulley up top. So the guys at BDS were like, yeah, just give us your center to center distance. We'll figure it out for you, no big deal. So we got 23 inches on the money. Boom, Jordan, baby, let's go. I'm so pumped for this. So this is all really nice. We're keeping it simple here. Got another cool part that's coming in the mail that I bought, but I'll drop the guy's website in here because it's a pretty sick piece. But it's a stainless crossover tube for your coolant, and then you can configure the direction that you want everything to go, which is great because in my case, I've got both the ports on the radiator on the driver's side. Check it out, I'll bring it over. Back when we first built this thing, we had boys over at CSF whip up this full custom badass 4-core radiator. This is a big mamma jamma, and you can see got 2 huge fans in it, and they are sick. Pulse width modulated, all that. But as you can see, both the ports are on the driver's side. So not like an LS where usually they're both on the passenger side. The way this tubing runs is like one will come out this way, and then there's like an AM line. The other one kind of comes down and it's angled down, so you can just go boop, you know, nice and clean. Gotta love it. I'm excited. Can we just take a moment and bask in all of this greatness right here? This is the first time this thing has like been this together in a long time, and it actually feels like a car again. I know it's got a long way to go, but this is a good feeling. I'm excited.